was in the top 5 players in the league. Most people think. But the top 2 guys are the European guys.
Good evening, everybody.
We're
going to ask the counselors to come and join us in the chamber. We have a proclamation this evening offered by Counselor LeVar Click Bruce for the athletic accomplishments of a member of the SciTech track and field team. So we'd encourage counselors to come in so we can honor that young person. Counselor Click Bruce, you have the floor.
All right, thank you, Council President. Where do I start? Really, this is a young man who really doesn't know me. I know his grandfather very well, Richard Johnson. Found that out through just having conversations. But I was at a track meet some time ago watching my daughter run, and I kept hearing this young man's name over the intercom that he actually was doing the high jump. And again, I'm not a track and field guy, I'm a basketball guy, so I don't know all the events and the intricacies of what goes on, but I heard this young man's name, and I said, all right, this kid is from Springfield. So I went over and watched him jump, and he kept advancing on, and it was a state meet, and he kept advancing. So something, just a light kind of went off, and like, we gotta honor this young man, because we always honor Central kids, Putnam, and you know, I'm a Commerce grad, and I'm always gonna fight for Commerce. They really don't get recognized, and SciTech is one of those schools that really don't get recognized. So I want to do something special for him. It may or may not mean a lot, but I want to say somebody's watching you. So when I became a city councilor, I always wanted to say I want to recognize young people, especially in the sports and recreation, because I know how important that is to keep you out of trouble. You got to keep your grades. It just means a whole lot. So it's a small token of love to say, hey, somebody's watching. As you continue to go on in life, continue to strive to be the best you can be, not only on the athletic field, but also in the classroom, which you already do. I'm going to read this young man's accomplishments throughout this year. He's only a junior, so we're looking for big things from him his senior year. I also want to recognize the track and field team, coaching staff, because they coach my daughter as well, and they've done a tremendous job really working with her, and they need to be recognized, and I'm going to do that at another time. But this young man deserves all the shine. So the City of Springfield City Council, in recognition, we are pleased to honor and recognize Julius Lowe Wanamaker. If Julius, you want to come up to the podium, actually? I apologize to your parents. I apologize. He's not shy.
It looks like you.
And he got like 15 medals on. These Carl Lewis out here. So Julius Lowe Wanamaker. Julius is a young student athlete from SciTech High School who is accomplished in academics and sports. Julius received the Abigail Honors Award for his MCAT score. That should be commended. I don't know what that Abigail Honors Award is, because I ain't never did it, but it must mean something, so keep up the great work. He took 3 AP classes and was the recipient of the Leadership Sports Award. He is on the student council at SciTech. On the field, he achieved second place in the long jump city meet, second place in the triple jump city meet, second place in the Western Mass long jumper, third place in Western Mass high jump, the outdoor track most valuable state champion, also placed 12th in the Meet of Champions and Spartan Invitational long jump champion, and he is a 2-time city meet champion. He is a track star athlete. The City Council, all my colleagues, we wish Julius you much continued success, not only on the track and field, but also in the classroom. You are bright and shining star in the city of Springfield. So we want to recognize you, Julius. Please keep up the good work, good health, and we just wish you much success. Thank you. So Julius, if you want to have a few words before we give you this, but we want to open up to you. And I actually want to have your grandfather come up because he's such a staple in this community, and I know he'll have some good words to say about you as well. So I want to also recognize Richard Johnson. So.
What a nice picture. First, I'd like to say congratulations, job well done. I want to say thank you to his mom and to his dad for always supporting him and always encouraging him and making sure that he understands that the sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning. Thank you so much for doing yourself proud and believing in yourself. And thank you all for recognizing him, because these are the kinds of things that encourage young people to do what? Stay in the city of Springfield, become employed by the city of Springfield, and be a shining light for others to do the same. So when we think about brain drain and other people leaving the city, part of what we do is recognize our young people and encourage them to do what you're doing later on. So congratulations, you're doing great things. I really appreciate and love you very much.
Okay, Julius, we'd love to hear from you, Julius.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank God for helping me out on my journey, keep my head up, and allowing me to go out here and strive for excellence every time I get on the track. I'd like to thank my track coaches, my mom, dad, and all my family members here behind me, who every time I start getting lazy or complacent, they push me, and they're just overall here. One thing a lot of people always tell me is 95% of the job is just showing up, and they all do a good job in showing up and being here, because some people don't understand how big it is just having somebody there. It goes from having a bad meet to sitting here and looking up in the stands and seeing my mom or seeing one of my coaches right there cheering me on. So that really means a lot to me. And I thank all you guys up here for recognizing me and seeing me and giving me this award, because it could have just been, oh yeah, like, yeah, he won a state champion. Good job for him, and nothing more, nothing less said. Like you said, nobody really gets recognition unless you go to Central or Putnam. So I would also like to thank you for seeing SciTech and having our back.
Thank you. Okay. So Julius, we're going to turn it over. Some of the city councilors would like you to hear from them. Councilor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Councilor Click Bruce, for doing this and for saying what Richard did, for recognizing these young people. But I would like to know, you are such a talented young man, what your future plans are and what you think your athletics will do for you to reach that goal.
I do intend on going to college, and I play 3 sports for a reason. I want any one of those sports to allow me to go to college for free so I can feel my passion. I want to be either an aerospace engineer or work at NASA. I want to work with spaceships. So I've been looking into various different engineering programs to help me achieve my goals. But the plan is to further my education in college.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Councilor Delgado.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, congratulations, Nassau, man. That's awesome, man. I remember in kindergarten I thought about Nassau, so you need to do that. I want to just give credit to my colleague, LeVar Click Bruce, because he is kind of the person on here who makes sure that we always pay attention to our youth, and I think it's critical. Because a lot of times it's not just the athletes that are Central or Putnam, but it's even in a city that's really dominated by football and basketball, that there are a lot of other sports that we don't necessarily pay attention to, and a lot of good kids and really good athletes that are doing really amazing things, and we don't notice them because they're not in a championship team or not, but they're still just as amazing and just as deserving. So kudos to you, for everything that you're doing. And I really want to just give, applause to the family, because what you mentioned just a few seconds ago about, it can get hard, but you have your coaches by your side or you have your family. That's a big difference, where we lose a lot of kids who are amazing athletes, but they don't have that support at home and they fall to the streets or to something else. So just really kudos to the family for being there and pushing you, because it's not easy. It is 95% showing up, And a lot of times when you're like, I'm tired, I just want to stay home and I don't want to do nothing. The difference between the winners, and I don't want to say the losers, but the folks that don't get to perform that, is most people want to sit home and they don't want to put in the extra work to be tired because they don't understand it. So kudos to you for your motivation to keep going, and we expect big and great things from you. And I have 2 questions. Do you get your genetics from Mr. Johnson's side of the family? I'm gonna let you guys handle that one over there. And the second question is, can you teach me to jump higher? Because I've always wanted to dunk on a basketball hoop. I might be getting too old, but no. But thank you and appreciate it and congratulations. And I'm looking forward to getting a picture with him with all those medals, man.
Yeah, we gotta get a picture.
Okay, Counselor Whitfield.
Thank you. Now, you knew that I had to say something, and I wish I was
Is
here
somebody
in
out there
person
to take a picture?
because this is Richard Johnson's grandson. Is that what I heard, Council President? What? You know, I went to on a week's basis, and I am just like really, I'm gonna come on, even though, you know, I'm not prepared to be on, but I just wanted you to see me and to know that I already know you're gonna do great things because you're Richard Johnson's grandson. I am so like proud of you. Keep up the good work. When you said engineering in Nassau, I'm so thrilled to hear that because that's not like career paths that we hear often. And you already want to get it paid for free. That's every parent's dream. So great job, parents out there, for guiding him in the right direction. And you have our support. I wish I was there to take the picture with you, but I'm gonna catch up with you later with Richard. I know I can get in touch with you somehow and give you my own award and take some pictures and things like that. I just didn't know that this was happening today. So congratulations, keep up the good work. You have all of us in your corner rooting for you. If you ever need anything from any of us, feel free to like just let us know how we can help you and support you in any way. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Counselor Whitfield. Congratulations, Julius. We'd invite you at this point to come forward. You can receive your proclamation. Oh, Counselor Allen would like to say something as well.
Yeah, thanks. Just quick, congrats on everything. The medals are impressive. Your effort's impressive. Your attitude to continue being greater is impressive. And those just two things on the name. If your last name is Wanamaker, did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
So I don't know if you know this, but the most famous mile run in America is the Wanamaker Mile. And so there might be some lineage somewhere. It's named after Wanamaker.
Yeah, maybe.
I used to go to it every year. It's in New York in February. It's a great time. So maybe you have a little lineage there. But also on the Abigail and the other person's name who was in that, if I got that right, that thing, certain people who qualify for that scholarship go to state colleges for free.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is that you? Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's terrific. I mean, that's not just your athletics helping your athletics. That's, everything helping everything. So hopefully that'll work out for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Allen. Okay. So, Julius, we'd invite you to come forward, and Counselor Click Bruce will present the proclamation. We'd love to take a picture with you, too, and your medals.
Is he in college? Okay. Absolutely. Track.
How do you just press it, right? She got one of them $1,500 phones. You know
Okay, the council will take a 2-minute recess, and then we'll start our hearings meeting. Okay. Councilors, we're going to call our hearings meeting to order.
I don't know anything about it. Tomorrow night is 16 acres for me.
Okay.
East Springfield party tomorrow night?
So, good evening, councilors. Today is Monday, June 17th. This is a hearings meeting for the Springfield City Council. The time is 7:06. We're going to call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, could you please start by calling the roll?
Present.
Present.
Present Councilor Delgado.
Present.
Present Councilor Click Bruce.
Present.
Present Councilor Govan.
Yeah, it's nice.
Absent Councilor Brown.
Present.
Present Councilor Davila.
Present.
Present Councilor Curran.
Present.
Present Councilor Santinello.
Present.
Present Councilor Edwards.
Present.
Present Councilor Whitfield.
Present.
Present Councilor Perez.
Present.
Present Councilor Fenton.
Present. Will the council and our guests please rise for a moment of silence? Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Madam Clerk, first item, please. Oh, yeah.
First item is 24-13 stop sign on Fountain Street.
Okay, is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this petition? Mr. Velez? Okay.
Mr. President, I can't really hear.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him in 1 second. Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Velez, are you here to speak on behalf of this petition?
Yes. You hear me?
Mr. Velez?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can now, yes.
Okay, yes, I'm gonna speak a little bit about the petition, but because I don't see Mr. King, I don't know, is present, but I can speak a little bit. This petition is a resident request a stop sign. Right now, there's 2 stop signs, and he want to do it like a 4-way stop sign of Sylvian Street and Fontaine Street. He said there's a lot of cars parked near the corners, and people can see when they're gonna cross, and it's a hazard for pedestrian and for cars that is going from Fontaine to Sylvian Street. He's requesting the stop sign to avoid accidents by pedestrian or traffic.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the department regarding the stop sign petition? Seeing none, Councilor Santinello.
I grew up on Fountain Street. I lived there for 34 years. The speed on that street is and there's a lot of accidents all the way down Fountain Street. I believe there's a 4-way stop sign at Commonwealth, and Fountain. Is that not correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think this would go a long way to slow down the traffic, and like you indicated, it could save lives with pedestrians trying to get across. I'm voting for this.
Thank you, Councilor Santinello. Madam Clerk, if you would please call the roll on the petition.
On approval of the petition, Councilor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan, absent. Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton?
Yes, more than sufficient. Petition is approved. Item number 2.
Item number 2 is an honorary sign for Stephen Athos Way.
Is there anyone here to speak on with respect to this honorary petition?
Mr. President, this is Councilor Curran.
Councilor Curran.
Yes, I speak in favor of this petition for Stephen Athos Way. That would be off of Parker Street. The particular area we are speaking of is when you enter the Greenleaf Community Center, the driveway right there is the idea is to name it after Stephen Athos, who is a 50-year employee of the city of Springfield who worked as a school teacher, but during his summers, he ran the rec leagues all across the city, namely at Greenleaf. And throughout all the summers since 1973, Steve Athos has run softball leagues, basketball camps, all kinds of summer camps for our youth. And it really, I was reflecting on this, that we really do need, as a council in the city, to re-energize our rec leagues, especially in the summertime for our city's kids. Steve Athos was a part of kind of the years in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s when those rec leagues were really going strong, and a lot of his work was volunteer. So to recognize and honor the thousands of student athletes that he has come across and coached and mentored as a camp counselor and as a school teacher and as an assistant principal, we thought that it was fitting to name this portion of Greenleaf Park, where he spent many summers, Stephen Athos Way. And I know LeVar Click is also here on the line, and I believe Tim Garska from the Big E might be there as well. But again, I support this petition strongly, as well as many councilors that I've spoken to support it as well.
Thank you. Any other, Councilor Click Bruce?
Yeah, thank you, Councilor President, also to Councilor Curran for actually calling me to make me aware of this. This gentleman is well deserving of this honor. Can't put a price tag on helping out many of youth in our city that came through Greenleaf, not only Greenleaf, throughout the city. So Steve is one of those people that is very energetic. He'll talk to anybody, doesn't care what creed, color, or what your background is. He'll talk to anybody, and he's always have an encouraging word. And he also is challenging. So Steve's just a great guy all around, and I know what it is to give up your summers and to give up your family time. I actually know that. So the countless times that he spends at Greenleaf, the community center, and giving back to youth, I think those individuals deserve double honor. And what better way and what fitting way to honor him with his own way over at Greenleaf, so that way countless kids, even my grandson, when I get ready to bring him to Greenleaf, well, he'll probably ask me one day, well, who's this Steve Athos guy? And I'll have a great Steve Athos story, God willing, I'm around to see it. So Steve, I know we have a meeting tomorrow. If you're watching, congratulations, well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Click Bruce. Councilor Walsh?
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually attended the Traffic Commission meeting and voted for this honor. And the consensus was that this was definitely a well-deserved honor, an overdue honor. Mr. Athos has been volunteering and helping the city of Springfield for over 50 years and helping many of our young athletes. But in addition to everything he's done at Greenleaf, he's also responsible for hundreds of hours at Picknelly Field, where he's kept that field and limed the field, which I just learned how to do recently, watching my grandson. So I think it's wonderful that this has been proposed to honor this man who's given so much to the city.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Councilor Allen?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. President. I've known Steve, I don't know how many years, 50 years probably, something like that. LeVar and I will be at the 16 Acres Civic Association meeting tomorrow night. That's their June meeting. And Steve will be there. He's there all the time, taking care of whatever's going on at Greenleaf. The Civic Association meetings are just part of it. Gym time, other meetings, they're all part of it. And Steve, in the senior center that's there, Steve does the setup for lunches. He's an endless ball of energy doing positive things for the community. And so it's terrific to be able to honor him. He deserves all of it.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Councilor Delgado?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to echo the sentiments of my colleagues, particularly, I haven't known Steve for that long, but what I can say is that they're spot on when it comes about his energy, his hospitality. When you walk into that Greenleaf Center, like, you feel welcome right away, and Steve is the epitome of like what we want for folks in Springfield, right? To be the cheerleaders, to be the positive one. I don't think I've ever seen him have a bad day there. I mean, I'm not there as much as Councilor LeVar Click Bruce, but I just know every time I'm there, I know I'm feeling welcome, and it's a big testament to Steve and his energy and the way he takes it serious and has fun. And so, you know, I'm glad to support this, and it couldn't happen to a better person. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Delgado. Okay. Councilor Santinello?
Yeah, I just want to say I've known Steve for the longest time. Steve is a treasure. I wish we had 100 Steve Athoses. And if you're watching, Steve, you're the best.
Thank you, Councilor Santinello. Okay. Seeing no further councilors, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll on item number 2?
On approval of the honorary sign, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan. Absent, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Sign is approved. Item number 3, Madam Clerk.
Item number 3 is for a special permit for motor vehicle repairs, light and heavy, at the property known as 235 Mill Street.
Okay, councilors, we are now sitting as the special permit granting authority under the Massachusetts Zoning Act and the rules of the Springfield City Council. Petitioners will be given up to 20 minutes to make their case. Thereafter, if there are opponents, they'll be given 20 minutes to make their case. If there are desire for rebuttals, we'll make an allocation of time for that at that time. So good evening, sir. If you could please introduce yourself, say your name and address for the record, and tell us what your petition is about here.
My name is Adrian Reeves. I live at 149 Hermitage Drive, Springfield, Mass. So the reason for me coming here today to ask for this permit is not just to work on vehicles. It's actually a much bigger plan. It kind of parallels everything that happened here today. As we see, there's a lot of youth that are into athletics, but not all kids make it. There's a small percentile that do so. The permit is going to parallel all the other things that are going to take place in this structure that I'm going to put up. Is it for my equipment? Yes, but I would also like to do mentoring for some of the younger generation. I remember graduating from high school, and I didn't know really what I wanted to be. My brother offered me he had worked in the prison. He said, hey, they're hiring. You want to take it? I said, yes, 'cause I had no other options. Because we all know when you graduate from high school, it's not always like a given what you want to be. You know, some kids are gifted and they know exactly, or maybe their parents have a family business. But I would like to get some of the kids out of Putnam Vocational and in neighboring schools and, you know, offer them an opportunity to learn how to work on equipment, work on vehicles. I have a small business where I do landscaping, we do construction. I'm currently going to get my unrestricted license. So it's going to be more than just working on vehicles. So of course, I have the trucks, I have the track loaders, I have everything imaginable. But that's just the permit is just going to allow me to a small portion of the things that I need to work on. So I'm hoping that you guys will grant me this permit. Also under the premise that, you know, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I've been working out of my house for several years. My neighbors love me. And when I move to this, erect this structure here, you know, I know how to play nice in the pen. I don't want any of the neighbors to frown on what I'm doing. You know, I'm an open door. You know, I want to improve the neighborhood. It's not going to be this thing where I'm going to have vehicles all over the place and junk everywhere. You know, because I would like, you know, just even with my neighbors, all my stuff is put away, neat, and I hope to improve the area. Well, I definitely will improve the area, but that will be yet to be seen. So,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Say again, anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, you can take a seat, sir. Thank you. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Say again, anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Any counselors who have questions for the applicant before we close the public hearing? Counselor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Have you had an opportunity to reach out to Putnam and the other schools? Is it going to be other than Putnam?
So I went up to Putnam. Actually, there was a gentleman in a Putnam bus. And I remember when I went there, I went to school for carpentry. And so I approached him and I dialogued with him about what my intentions were. And he said it was a great idea. If you asked me this man's name, I wouldn't know. But as far as anyone knows how a business starts, you know, it's an uphill battle. So I'm just trying to get everything in place. And so when I have a place for the youth to come to, and I can give them my intent, my layout as to what I plan to do, I will pursue exactly what I said. I will go to Putnam and show them this is what I have. Just to back up everything I said, I have like 7 guys that work with me. I had these 2 young kids. Their father, I've known them because I picked up landscape material from this particular place. And these guys, the metamorphosis I've seen in these young guys, because, I don't pay them a lot of money, but they come to work every day. They're excited. And, it's just that energy. I've seen so many kids go in the opposite direction, but I'm a father of 2. I have 2 boys. My eldest is in the Air Force. He can't wait to come home at the end of this year and work with me. My little guy, you ask him about, I'm getting off topic.
Well,
Yeah, so-
the only reason why I asked, because I really do commend you and your effort. I have went by the area. It does look nice. I've always said, as far as a lot of the youth violence, and even just not even just violence, just a lot of times when it comes to creativity and individuals wanting to continue on learning how to do other things, I always would emphasize not just Putnam. I think you could fill a void in the other schools that don't offer some of those trades, that I know a lot of these people who go to the other schools would love to learn how to do. So, I really do commend you. This is something that I know me and a lot of my colleagues have talked about, getting some of these kids a trade and these young adults a trade, and just people in general a trade, where it doesn't have to be a young adult. It can be just anyone, and teaching them and learning certain things and developing certain things in individuals. So I commend you in what you're doing, and I want to reach out and even help you as far as like on the kid and the youth and just the community aspect of teaching. But it is something definitely needed. So I do commend you, and a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Any other counselors who have questions for the applicant before we close the hearing? Councilor Allen.
Thanks, Mr. President. Yeah, I wonder if Mr. Dromey could come out, please.
Phil?
Hi, Phil, thanks. I'm confused by the write-up. At one point, it seems like there might be noise and concerns about the noise from that, I don't want to call it dumping, but from the pad, et cetera.
Well, I think, Counselor, I think you're on the wrong, I think that's the next item.
All right, so then explain to me, it's still the same address though, isn't it?
235 Mill Street?
No, all right. No, I'm on Oakdale. The one I'm looking at is on Oakdale.
Well, yeah, this is
Mill Street, not
yeah,
Oakdale.
this is 235 Mill Street.
Oh, we're on the Mill Street one. Sorry, I'm off then.
Any other counselors with questions? Counselor Davila.
Point of clarification for
Phil.
Phil.
Phil, you're being summoned again,
Just
please.
just
Come
a
on back.
Point of clarification for my own benefit. It's definitely a good area, but 235 Mill Street, that's currently, looks like a house slash, not a, it's not a,
No,
no.
it's
the budding property.
Yeah, it's if you
that's the
look at the
budding property.
analysis, it's kind of outlined in the dotted line. It's kind of behind a number of houses abutting Mill Street.
I see it, okay. I'm
There's
glad
a
you
driveway that
pointed
connects you to Mill, but then you go down to.
Okay, so I was starting to wonder how they're gonna do light work there. It's like, okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you.
Okay, any other counselors? Counselor Edwards?
I have something to say, but it's not a question.
Okay.
It's just a comment about
All right,
the
then we'll
property.
get to it in just 1 second. Any questions for the applicant? Okay, seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing and the hearing. You can take a seat, sir. Counselor Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. President. This applicant has presented himself appropriately. The neighborhood council is aware of it. There was no opposition to his application. The site is on Mill Street, It abuts the former site of Providence Hospital's methadone clinic. The methadone clinic closed some time ago, and then a different entity opened up in the south end. But this particular site, this is an appropriate use. It will not have a negative impact on the community. It's an industrial type of area. It sits down at the bottom of the hill. And I'm encouraging my colleagues to support this. This young man has presented himself very appropriately, very well. I like his vision, and there are future opportunities for him to be involved in the community, working with people. But in terms of the application for the special permit, does this have a negative impact on the community around it? No, it will not. And in fact, I believe, and from what I've heard of people who have spoken on his behalf, that he is probably going to make the area and this particular site better. This is one of those places where you just drive by and you wouldn't notice what he's doing down there anyway. It's not something you're going to see from the street level. So as the president of the neighborhood council and from the ward council in the area, I encourage all of you to support this wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Councilor Edwards. Any other councilors? Okay, seeing none. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll on approval of the special permit. 2/3 is required.
On approval of the special permit, Councilor Walsh.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan. Absent, Councilor Brown.
Could you say that again, Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Special permit is approved. Councilor Allen on the reasons.
Here are the reasons for a granted special permit. Reason number one, the specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. Number two, the use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Number three, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. And number four, to incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of the findings.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the reasons.
On acceptance of the reasons, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan. Absent, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor
Yes.
Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Special permit is approved. Congratulations. Thank you. Madam Clerk, item number 4.
Item number 4 is to amend an existing special permit motor vehicle junkyard granted August 2006 by amending or deleting conditions number 5, installation of a work pad, number 9, outside storage of parts, and number 10, buying and selling of parts at the property known as 33 Oakdale Street.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Good evening, sir. If you could introduce yourself, state your name and address for the record.
First off, I'd like to say good evening to everybody. My name's Al Salem. My wife's name is Joan Salem, and together we run a business at 33 Oakdale Street, Springfield, Mass. We've been up on the street for about 40 years now in different locations. And I would like to also thank Kathy Brown for working with us and supporting us on what we want to do. Times have changed, business has changed. We had some restrictions on our licenses that we need to have amended due to the fact of the rising cost of fuel, the transportation cost, and we used to be able to give it to local yards, the scrap, but we can't anymore. We have to ship it out. My main business is buying and selling used trucks, We buy fleets and acquisitions from different corporations, lease companies, and so on. And I'm standing before you to ask you for these amendments so I can stay in business.
Thank you, Mr. Salem. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of the petition? Okay. Good evening, Ms. Brown. Mr. Salem, you can take a seat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, good evening, sir. Just introduce yourself, please. Name and
Jeffrey
address.
Williams, here to support Al. He's a friend and a neighbor. I have a business on the same street, and I just want to support him and tell you that he has a clean operation, and he's a good friend of mine, and I think that his business is really needed. I buy trucks and stuff from him for my construction company, and then when I'm done with them, I turn them back into him. So it works out pretty good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sirs.
Good evening, Ms. Brown.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Good evening, councilors. I'm Kathy Brown. I'm president and spokesperson of the East Springfield Neighborhood Council. Al Salem's business has been on Oakdale Street since at least 2006, and we were involved in the original special permits that were issued for that location. He's come before you tonight, as I'm sure you are aware because you've read the material, and I'm hoping some of you got a chance to see on site. And he's looking for some alterations that will allow him to, I call it crunch vehicles, i.e. crush vehicles. The neighbors, Al came to us. We met with him several times. We've met with him on site. We've taken a look at the revised site plan. We've spoken to the neighbors, and the neighbors were most concerned about what noise might be created. In order to determine what noise would exist with this newer operation, we did an on-site hearing session. So we listened to the crunching of the vehicles, and as he explains to us and as we observed, he will be taking just the cabs, not the stuff that's inside the cab, but just like the shell, the skeleton, and he will be crunching it with a piece of the equipment that he currently has on site. It's like a backhoe or a grader or some piece of mechanical equipment. It's not the traditional crushing machine that has great big hydraulic mechanisms. The other part that the neighbors were concerned about was the way Al at times had been maintaining his property. So Al has assured us that the exterior part of his property will be maintained so that the neighbors don't have to look at something that's unsightly. Let's be reminded that this is directly across the street from residential homes. So it's an industrial property directly across the street from residential homes. So as we talked through those multiple meetings and multiple phone calls, we agreed that the exterior would be kept looking decent, and we have some pictures, and they're in your packet, I believe, and we're requesting not only the site plan go into the special permit as the legal document, but also the photographs so that code enforcement will be able to refer back to them. So picture's worth 1,000 words. So we are here tonight to say the neighbors are okay with this. They're still a little nervous, but they're comfortable that this can probably work. We know that Al has been there a long time. We know that he's trying to do business. Again, if you look at your site plan, the current site plan that you have in front of you is far more orderly than the way he's been managing to keep the property of late. So vehicles will be placed in a logical location, as will be the outside storage of the engines and motors and all of that. And then again, the site plan does indicate that all dismantling and crunching would happen on the pad, the 45-foot by 45-foot pad, which has a environmental bladder underneath the ground in case there's some kind of an environmental situation. And that bladder is already there, and it was put there right after 2006. So we're here to say he's worked with us. We wish him well. And if you vote on this tonight, we'll be pleased.
Thank you,
I'd be
Ms.
happy
Brown.
to entertain questions if you have them.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Any other individuals wishing to speak in favor of the application? Say again, anyone wishing to speak in favor? Okay, seeing none. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Say again, anyone wishing to speak in opposition for this petition, 33 Oakdale Street? Seeing none, any questions from the council for the applicant or members of the public? Counselor
I
Walsh.
just have a comment, but I have to wait for you to close the hearing.
Yeah, if it's just a comment, you can wait till we close the hearing, but if it's a question for a member of the public, we'd entertain those now. Okay, Counselor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question for Al.
Mr. Salem's coming back to the podium now, Counselor Brown.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I remember back when Kathy was talking about the actual setup. They did a neighborhood council. This was a while ago. How many times did they come out there?
Well, she's come out a couple of times, but she wanted to do one test so she could get a hearing level on what it would sound like, for the neighborhood. And it's, she agreed to it. It's not very loud at all. And we agreed that we would only do this between the hours of 9 to 4, Monday to Friday. And I don't want everybody to think that this is a daily condensing type operation. It's not. It's only when, we're not buying scrap off the street to condense. This is the cabs of the trucks that we dismantle for parts, and this is how we, get rid of everything. And we drain the oil, so there's no oil involved in this operation that we're trying to do.
Okay, and I do want to commend you for the work you do in the community, Al. I am familiar with a lot of the work you've done in the community, and Kathy, and working with the neighborhood council. Kathy, I know you've done your due diligence. I've heard you a lot about a lot of different subjects, and I know that you've really been at this. So this is really how neighborhood councils and neighbors should really work together. But you guys really did a great job working together and getting this particular project worked out. I'm in favor for it, and I definitely commend you both for working together. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you, Counselor Brown. Anyone else with comments or questions for the petitioner? Okay. Seeing none, that'll close this portion of the hearing and the hearing. Any counselors have comments they'd like to state before we vote? Counselor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I'd like to say that I think the petition before us tonight, I think it's going to be an easy vote, because I think this is a wonderful example of an established business and a neighborhood council coming together, working together, sorting out their problems and coming up with a solution that not only helps the business, but helps the neighborhood. And this petition is coming from someone that's been in business for over 40 years, an established business, and we want to keep our businesses in the city of Springfield. So I'm going to support this, and as our other colleagues have said, this is a wonderful example of everybody working together.
Thank you, Counselor
I'm
Walsh.
100% for it.
Thank you, Counselor Walsh. Any other counselors? Ready to go to the Celtics game? Okay. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll on approval of the special permit?
Yes.
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 We can't really hear the mic at all.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes. More than sufficient. Special permit's approved. Counselor Allen on the reasons.
Here's the reasons for a granted special permit. Number one is the specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. Number 2 is the use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Number 3 is adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. And number 4 is to incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision at the basis of the findings.
Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll on the reasons?
On approval of the reasons, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan, absent. Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Reasons are approved. Special permit is granted. Congratulations, sir. Thank you for coming down. Any more business, Madam Clerk?
There's not.
Okay, seeing no further business, council will stand adjourned. Councilors, we are entering our summer schedule. We will not meet again until July 8th. Everyone have a good evening. Good night.